You've heard of luxury brands like Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, and Celine. But did you know they're all owned by a single company? LVMH, a French multinational worth over $500 billion with control over more than 75 luxury houses in fashion, wine, jewelry, cosmetics, and more. This empire was built intentionally, strategically, by one man, and it all started with the merger of Moet Hennessy and Louis Vuitton. In this video, we're breaking down the origin story of LVMH, how Bernard Arnault pulled off one of the most powerful consolidations in modern business, and the strategy that made him the richest man in the world, multiple times. In the 1980s, France had three giants in luxury: Moet and Chandon Champagne, Hennessy Cognac, and Louis Vuitton, the iconic fashion house. In 1987, Moet, Hennessy, and Louis Vuitton agreed to merge, creating a new conglomerate, LVMH. But behind the scenes, all was not calm. The merger was rocky. Executives disagreed, egos clashed, and leadership was fragile. That's when Bernard Arnault saw his opening.
They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
Arnault, then a relatively unknown real estate developer, had already shown a taste for hostile takeovers. In 1984, he took over Boussac, a bankrupt textile empire that just so happened to own Christian Dior. Arnault kept Dior and sold the rest, essentially turning an old failing company into his golden ticket. Fast forward to the LVMH merger. Arnault used his Dior stake and a carefully built network of investors to start buying up shares of LVMH. By 1989, he had taken control, ousting the existing leadership and becoming chairman and CEO. At just 40 years old, Arnault wasn't just leading a company. He was commanding a throne atop a new luxury kingdom. Born in 1949 in Roubaix, France. His father owned a civil engineering company, which Arnault eventually joined. But Arnault didn't want to build bridges. He wanted to build something bigger. After attending the prestigious École Polytechnique, he convinced his father to sell the industrial division and pivot the family business toward real estate. And in the early 1980s, an opportunity came when he used a French government program to acquire Boussac. He restructured the group, sold off most of its assets, and kept Dior. It was his first major luxury brand and his first big bet. From that point forward, Arnault would mix financial discipline with cultural sensitivity, using his engineering mindset to build what one analyst described as the Microsoft of luxury. He didn't just follow market trends, he shaped them, expanding the reach of high fashion, introducing luxury to new regions, and setting new standards in brand storytelling. And that's when the acquisitions really took off. That was the first taste of his strategic mind, spotting trends, moving quickly, and capitalizing on undervalued assets. But Arnault's real genius wasn't just numbers, it was branding. He understood something many in luxury didn't at the time, that branding wasn't just a logo, it was a lifestyle. And if you controlled the most iconic names, you could write your own rules. He also understood consolidation, that bringing multiple high-end brands under one roof wouldn't dilute value. It would amplify it. He didn't just want to own Dior, he wanted to own luxury itself. Here's how LVMH grew from a few brands into a portfolio that now spans over 75 houses. Arnault's approach to acquisition was simple, but ruthless. First, identify undervalued or underperforming luxury brands with strong heritage. Second, buy a stake, sometimes small at first, and increase it quietly. Third, gain board control, install new leadership, and integrate the brand into LVMH's system. And here's the key, he never fully standardized the companies. Each house maintained its own identity, creative leadership, and culture. That way, LVMH could scale operations and supply chains without watering down the brand experience. Take Givenchy, acquired in 1988, or Marc Jacobs and Sephora, both added in the 1990s. LVMH wasn't just about fashion, it was building a luxury ecosystem. Today, LVMH operates in 5 major sectors: fashion and leather goods, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Celine, Fendi, wines and spirits, Moet and Chandon, Dom Perignon, Hennessy, perfumes and cosmetics, Guerlain, Fresh, Benefit, watches and jewelry, Bulgari, Tag Heuer, Hublot, and selective retailing, Sephora, DFS, Le Bon Marché. By 2023, LVMH employed over 213,000 people, operated more than 5,700 stores worldwide, and earned 86.2 billion euros in revenue. Even during macroeconomic slowdowns, LVMH consistently posted organic growth. In 2024, despite global uncertainty, their profit margins remained strong. and free cash flow rose by 29%. And it's not just about profit. The company invests in sustainability and skills training. Over 3,300 apprentices trained through LVMH's in-house institutes.
Speak to our customers in a way that represents our level of luxury.
A 55% reduction in energy-related carbon emissions. Artisan support programs that preserve traditional craftsmanship in France, Italy, and beyond. In a world of fast fashion and digital disruption, LVMH's numbers prove that quality, heritage, and innovation can still dominate. And this huge success gave rise to the largest luxury brand deal in history, the acquisition of Tiffany & Company. In 2019, LVMH made a bold move, offering $16.2 billion to acquire Tiffany & Company, the legendary American jeweler. It was the largest acquisition in luxury goods history. But things got complicated. After the deal was signed, the pandemic hit. Sales plummeted. LVMH tried to back out, citing trade tensions between France and the US. Tiffany sued. Eventually, they renegotiated the price down slightly. In 2021, the deal closed at $15.8 billion. But why did LVMH want Tiffany? Because Arnault saw untapped potential. Tiffany had global recognition, but hadn't innovated in years.
Don't you just love it?
Love what?
Tiffany's.
Under LVMH, it was repositioned to target younger, high-spending consumers in Asia and Europe. Tiffany saw 40% organic growth in just 1 year. Operating income doubled, and LVMH's jewelry segment became the third largest globally, right behind Richemont and Swatch. They did this through overhauling the brand image, brought in new creative directors, and reopened the flagship New York store with major buzz. Yes, the acquisition temporarily increased LVMH's debt levels, but the long-term gains in both brand equity and market dominance made it worth it. Today, Tiffany isn't just surviving, it's thriving. It's a perfect example of how LVMH doesn't just buy brands, they revive them. So, with dozens of brands under one umbrella, how does LVMH operate? LVMH's governance model is designed for both stability and speed. It's what's called a house of brands. Each subsidiary operates with significant autonomy, especially when it comes to creative direction and brand identity. Bernard Arnault serves as chairman and CEO. Stéphane Bianchi, group managing director, oversees major segments, and his children serve in operational leadership roles across brands. The holding company Christian Dior SE sits atop the ownership pyramid. Through it, the Arnault family holds majority voting control, despite owning less than half of the total shares. This tight control allows for fast decision-making, especially during acquisitions or market shifts. When LVMH buys a brand, integration is immediate. Leadership is swapped in. Systems are synced. Synergies are unlocked within months. And yet, each brand retains its unique voice. Louis Vuitton doesn't look like Kenzo. Fendi doesn't sound like Dior. That's by design. But the back end, such as supply chains, logistics, legal, finance, and real estate, is heavily centralized. This means LVMH can scale luxury while reducing inefficiencies. Arnault also ensures strong executive leadership. Many CEOs of LVMH houses are personally chosen, groomed, and monitored. Underperformers are replaced. High performers are promoted. This structure allows LVMH to balance art and commerce, individuality and scale, legacy and innovation. It's why their operating margin was over 26.6% in 2023, compared to the industry average of around 15%. It's also why they can pull off billion-dollar acquisitions and make them pay off fast.
And Chinese consumers buying more luxury within China rather than overseas, because for years they relied on the Chinese tourists coming to the New York store.
But what happens when you're worth over $200 billion? If you're Bernard Arnault, you plan ahead. He has 5 children, and each one has been given responsibility over part of LVMH. Delphine Arnault is now CEO of Christian Dior Couture. Antoine Arnault is head of communications and image at LVMH. The others, Alexandre, Frederic, and Jean, each hold leadership positions across Tiffany, Tag Heuer, and watchmaking divisions. But unlike other Nepo babies, they had to earn it. Arnault made his children work their way up through internships, operational roles, business school, and highly distinguished results. He didn't believe in nepotism, he believed in succession planning, allowing his children to be a part of a legacy that they themselves will continue to build upon. LVMH's corporate structure, anchored by the Arnault family's near 50% shareholding and 64% voting control through Christian Dior SE, ensures continuity, but the leadership pipeline is meritocratic. In 2023, LVMH increased the retirement age for its CEO to 80, buying Arnault time to mentor and test his heirs. It's like the luxury version of Succession minus the HBO drama.
Kenny.
The 1987 merger of Moet Hennessy and Louis Vuitton wasn't just a financial transaction. It was the birth of a new business model, luxury conglomeration at scale. Bernard Arnault saw the future before others did. He didn't just collect brands, he built an architecture that allowed them to thrive individually while dominating collectively. Today, LVMH is valued at over $500 billion US, making it the most valuable company in Europe. It's a cultural force, a symbol of aspiration, a benchmark of brand management. Its brands are cultural icons. Its business model is studied in MBA programs. And Bernard Arnault has become a symbol of what happens when you combine art, strategy, and ruthless business acumen. But the game isn't over. LVMH continues to eye new markets, especially in Asia, where luxury consumption is growing fastest. It's investing in digital experiences, sustainability,
On est convaincu qu'une croissance positive et qu'on dit sustainable, puisque c'est le mot
and
qu'on
even
emploie.
hospitality, with hotels like Cheval Blanc. As trends shift, LVMH adapts without compromising exclusivity. Because in luxury, perception is everything, and Arnault understands. Controlling the dream means controlling the demand. If you enjoyed this breakdown of LVMH, let me know in the comments. Which company should I cover next? Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and have notifications turned on so you don't miss out on the many informative content.